Hello there, so welcome back. Oh no, it is me, sorry, I can't get the camera far enough away. We are making this little, well it's quite big actually, it's a long black dress. It's made out of a lovely jersey material. Probably took me half an hour to sew. So, I hope you enjoy, thanks for watching. So, hello there. Okay, I have got a lovely jersey, I suppose cotton. It's printed and can be difficult to sew, and I'm going to make pretty much an identical copy of a dress that I already have, and that's this dress here. So I'm being very careful because I've laid this all out so I can just cut round it. So yeah, this is pretty much full length, sort of t-shirty material, very easy to wear. And I've got my pen. Now, basically, I'm drawing around this dress and then I'm going to cut it out. So how simple is that? And that comes down to about there. So nice big mark there. And then round there till about there. Now what I've done is this dress is sewn at the sides, but what I want to do is I want to have just one seam at the back. I have my reasons for this, and the reason is that sewing this type of material can be tricky. So I thought, well, the least seams I do, then the better. And what will happen is it may pucker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliberately have my seam at the back. So if it does pucker, then it looks like part of the design. Now, you may have noticed that I'm actually, if I pull that down, you can see, I'm drawing round two backs. So what I'm going to do is when I've cut out this, is I'm going to then cut out the front. So, which I know wastes a bit of cloth. I'm going to have the V-neck as a wastage, but I don't mind. It just makes life a lot easier. I suppose the other way to do it would be get loads and loads of paper and probably a big floor space, and then draw the patterns and then draw the patterns onto this. But I just think this is a lot quicker and a lot easier. So I'm going to switch camera off now, and then I'm just going to do my cutting, and then I will be back. So welcome back. You haven't gone anywhere, it was me. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do the sleeves, and I'm going to give myself a hem allowance because I'm kind to myself. And I've just folded it as flat as I wanted, as flat as I could, and drawn round it. So, and this is all folded up underneath. This is 4 folds, so I know it's, you know, I've got the right thickness. Now I've got the serger out because I have one. If you were to do this with just the sewing machine, then you could use a French seam. You sew the outer 2 together, and then you fold it over, and then you tuck the hem in, and then you sew it again. But because I've got the serger, I'm going to use it. If you do have a serger, the temptation is not to get it out of the cupboard because it's quite a palaver. But I leave mine set up, and as I've got it, I use it. So this is basically my 3, well, it's all one piece, but my panels, my front and my back. So I need now to just cut out the V-neck of the front of the dress. Now, because this fabric's going to be quite forgiving, I'm not going to cut a bit extra around the sleeve, because if it was more tailored, a more rigid fabric, then I would need that just for arm movement. So I'd have to take 1 inch off the front, probably along the sort of, can I say that? I think so. Okay, so I've got this all laid out so I can see it, and basically I'm just going to copy it. I could do it on a bit of paper and then follow it through. I don't want it coming down too far. This is sort of, do you know when you've been in the sun all day and you've got sort of sunburn? this is the dress that I would be wearing. Very rarely come out in England sort of dress, but I always take it on holiday with me. Yeah, I've had it for years. I'm not even sure where I got it from. But yes, so that's that simple. I've just cut out a little V. That's not even very level, is it? Okay, what you can do is fold it over and then you can work out your angles. Okay, so get rid of that, I don't need it anymore, and I can start sewing up the sides. Well, the side, because we're only doing the one. Okay, I'm going to start with the sleeves actually, because I need to sew that bit, that bottom bit, so, and then that's done, and then I can not think about it, because otherwise you get to the end and you think, oh, I've got to get the serger out again because I haven't actually sewn these sleeves together. So, yeah, they seem to have come down in price nowadays, sergers. So, they're all very good. Now I am going to give myself a little bit of a split in this, not much, probably 4 inches. So I'm going to just get my fabric straight, bear with me. Because you don't really know how nice this fabric is. I just think the design is lovely. So literally just straight line sewing, keeping an eye that I'm actually sewing with all 4 threads. And this goes literally all the way up to the back. Just making sure that I'm going to meet in the middle. Yeah, by picking it up at this angle, you're encouraging it to take more of the top than you are the bottom. But normally we sew and we sort of leave it dangling down on our laps, so it's quite easy to sew more of the bottom than the top. Okay, the other 2 bits that I'm going to do on this machine is I'm just going to sew the top of the shoulders together. Oh, that wasn't hard, was it? Why did I make such a fuss? All the bits done. I do need to just sew into the sleeves into the main body, and then we'll change over to the sewing machine. Yeah, just stop to think that I've got them the right way around. So yeah, the great thing about the serger is you can just keep on sewing, but then you have to get rid of all these little bits. Yes, it's not good. So the sleeve goes on like that with the smaller half coming out. I need to turn it inside out. I'm just going to check it against the main dress. So I've deliberately kept this inside out. So we're going to sew the top with the top onto the main body. And it's turned inside out, so it's the right way around. And What have I done? Okay, so what I've basically done is I have sewn up the split at the back and the shoulders together. So I'm going to sort that out. Okay, so we've just finished sewing that. We turned our sleeves inside out. What I'd like to do now is I would like to sort of measure it up because we didn't use a proper pattern, we didn't use pins or anything, we need to now know that the back is the same, and we also, push that out the way, need to know that the front's the same. So if there is any bits that look slightly different, I'm going to trim it. I know, how wrong am I? But that's me for you. Now I also need to know that the sleeves come down to the same point. It would just make it really uncomfortable, really. You'd be really aware of it. Now if it was not quite as soft as this, what I would do is I would just cut out a bit more fullness on the sleeves on the front. But this is okay. So we've got the other dress here. I said I didn't need it anymore. So we need to now decide how to sew the sleeves in. They need to be turned inside out so that they are right side to right side. Do you know, I've forgotten already. Yeah, smaller hole, smaller hole. And we need to place the top at this shoulder seam. Okay, and we need the bottom to go to the bottom. Now I'm going to use the serger again. Again, if you were to do it with French seams, that would be great. Or you could do it with the overlock facility on a sewing machine. If you're doing it with French seams, then it would be wrong side to wrong side. So you would have to work that out and then turn it round. Yeah, so that you could then get it to that. It's quite nice that I've got the seam at the bottom here, because what I can do is I can just match it up by giving it, it's like a really good marker, so I can see quite clearly the red line that I did with the pen, and sew it up right to the bottom of the sleeve. Yeah, it's one of my bad habits, is I lean on the foot pedal, and I can do that on the sewing machine, can't do it on the serger, lose a finger. So there we go, just lining it up now, making sure it all meets up, making sure that there's no pucker. There we go. Good idea just to check that you've caught it all, and then everything's in, because then you just don't have to come back. So we need to turn this sleeve round the other way, and then again we need to match this top bit up to the seam of the shoulder. Okay, once the machine's started, we can then match the seam up to the bottom of the dress. Okay, I'm going to turn the whole garment over so it doesn't pull or anything when I start to do the next side, you know, the back. Just going to make sure everything's caught in. nothing is caught at the back. So that's our 2 sleeves in. So we can get rid of the serger now, and we can do all this hemming at the top. So actually I'm just going to trim off the bit there, because even though we matched it up, I obviously didn't do a very good job. Keep that straight. Okay, so next machine. It's so easy, you know, just do it, just do it. So lovely. Got my sewing machine all set up now, and I'm going to start with the bottom. I always start with the bottom, I don't know why. And I'm going to do this split. All I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over once, and then I'm going to fold it over twice. I don't want anything complicated, I just, you know. Now I am using black thread. This is because I have every intention of wearing this dress. So, whereas sometimes I can get away with doing it a different colour, on this I'm afraid I can't, so. Now what I'm going to do is, so that it's really tidy, is I'm literally going to, the split's kind of like that, and I'm going to sew all the way around, so that I can sort of tuck in the top bit, so that nothing will show, and I just think it'll look much nicer. And there we are. So I've gone over the top, and then I'm just literally coming down the side again. Now when I cut this dress, I literally cut it on the ceiling around the rim, so that I could sew it with just one fold over. So whereas we folded this over double, I'm going to just fold over the hem at the bottom the once, because it's already sewn. And I'm going to do it a bit more. I'm not going to do a blind stitch or anything. Yeah, I'm just literally going to sew. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck the top corner that way, so it's sort of facing downwards, and then I'm going to push in a little pucker as soon as it gets on the flap. This is so that it doesn't show from the back. There we go, so it's just straight line sewing again. Of course being careful that you don't stretch the fabric. Okay, every now and again I'm stopping because it's coming in between the foot. I haven't got a very good foot on for this. So, yes. I'll make do with this, but I recommend it if you have a different foot. If you have a quilting foot, it might be better, or a zipper foot would be great for this, so that it doesn't keep going in the centre. If you do have a stretch stitch on your machine as well, that would be great. Or you could use your smallest zigzag stitch, so that it doesn't break. I'm coming up to the end now, so now we do have a choice really when we've done this. We can either use binding to do the tops of the seams, or we can use, just fold it over, just do it like we're doing the bottom. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do binding, because I think it would be unfair not to do it. You know, I'm using this as a video as well. But it's up to you really. You know, if you think that looks quite tidy, then you can, of course, just do it with a roll over seam for the top bit. So what I'll probably do is do a roll over seam for the arms, but not the neckline. So we've still got the dress inside out, and we haven't got any binding. I'm not making binding for this, but it is that sort of principle. The binding out of this material, well, I don't know, need a lot of iron work. Not very good with the iron. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the back corner, and I'm going to sew it on, so we're on the wrong side, as it were, and then I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to do a couple of top stitches from the other side. So please bear with me. Yes, this is how to do binding without actually buying it or making it, which is easy enough, but even sometimes it's a good idea to sew your binding like this. Okay, I'm just going over the seam, so I'm going a bit slower because I'm going to change angles. Now I'm giving myself, I'm doing it as close as I can, but I suppose what you should do is you should trim it, you know, and in fact I may trim it. I've got some quite small scissors, so just coming now to the V of the neck, so I'm changing direction again. And you may have noticed that I just cut a strip of fabric. I didn't measure it. It didn't even occur to me to try and cut this strip. To fit the hole. It just didn't occur to me at all. So yeah, when I cut the sleeves, I had the fabric folded over 4 times, and I cut that at the same time, so it just made perfect sense to me. Now I suppose if you've got some contrasting coloured fabric, then that would be very, very nice to do the binding at the top in a different contrasting colour, so that it looks a bit more striking, because obviously this is a black dress, you know, and not everyone's happy wearing pretty much a completely black dress. So what should be done now is just going to trim that so it's as close to the stitchings as I dare, and I'd do that all the way around. And then I am going to fold it over and start sewing again. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to put a couple of stitches in this back piece just to make life a lot easier for myself. And whereas I should, I suppose, neatly fold it over. But kind of cheat a bit. So lovely. That's nice and straight. I'm going to get rid of some strag ends. And I am going to start just before that bit, so that I'm already going nicely before I go over the seam. And then literally I'm going to fold this over and sew on there on a nice top stitch. Okay. So yes, nicely tucked in. And I'm sewing as close as I can to the edge of this so that I'm catching the fold. And I'm going to sew a bit, I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to fold again. So now what I can actually see is I can see a little white bit of the original fabric. Now we know this jersey is like a full waist stretch, so when I'm going round the corner, I'm just going round the top corner here to come down to the V, then I'm putting in a little pucker as well. This is just to take up some of the fabric, because you want it to be there rather than sort of in the middle for no apparent reason. Now I've got this on quite a long stitch and I'm using a standard needle. There is such a thing as a jersey needle, but I haven't seen them for sale, so I haven't bought one. Yeah, I know. It's what can you get, you know. If you can make do, then make do. So here we go. I'm just coming up literally to the V at the front, so I'm going to put my pucker there because of that's where it should be. It should fold over. Really. Okay. I still need to be careful that I'm not catching anything on the back. Excuse me. Lovely. This is just coming up on the second half of the V, making sure it's all tucked in. Lovely. And this is the seam, so the seam of the shoulder. So I've just got this last bit to do. Hope that wasn't too boring. Easing it round whilst I change direction. There we go. Actually, I'm going to put a couple of reverse stitches in there, and I am going to take this opportunity to inspect it now so that I can literally run over any problems that I've come across. Problems would be that I didn't manage to actually tuck in the material, or I've got a little pucker. You just have to accept it, really. I have no qualms with going over it twice. So what we're going to do with the sleeves is we're literally just going to go for a little fold over rather than doing anything like more binding. Yeah, binding's not favourite. So I'm going to start at the back, because if you're going to make a mistake, it's going to be where you start, really, isn't it? So I put the weight of the material on the table so it doesn't affect my sewing. Couple of stitches to the first stitch. There we go. I love this machine. It's a workhorse machine. It's it never gets upset. It rarely breaks down. I don't treat out. There we are. So, that's one sleeve done. I think the thing you've got to watch is not only give yourself hem allowance to while you're cutting and sewing, but that sleeve's looking quite small to me, so maybe if I did this again I would give myself just a little bit more breathing room. I have no idea why the scissors... Oh look! So yes, there's me saying I inspect it every stage. I'm just going to put a couple of stitches on that hole so that it doesn't get any bigger. But I can literally run over again with the third one. Oh, I'm really annoyed at myself for that. That's terrible. Oh, now I broke the machine. Oh, I broke the thread. Broke the machine. I suppose I shouldn't have jinxed it by saying, oh, it never breaks. Here we go. Yes, there is something about panicking with the cameras on. Now, I am not shy at all. But when it comes to threading a needle on camera, oh, it's so hard. It's so hard indeed. Okay, so last little bit now, I'm just doing this sleeve, and then I am going to trim all these loose threads, but I'll do that off camera because I'm sure we've all been there, we've all been there. There we go, just fold that over. And then this last little bit. Oh, before I actually go and switch this off, what I'm going to do is I'm grabbing a scrap of material out of the bin. I'm going to measure the material. So that's great. Believe it or not, this is 7 inches by 3. And I'm going to just quickly put a couple of hemlines in it. And what I will do is I will wash this bit of material just to see. I want some frayed edges so that I can see how it handles it, and I want to know what size it was before so that I know what size it is after I've washed it. Okay, so I want to get that done before I actually wash the main dress. Okay, I'll hold it up. Yes, this is the dress, really. I'm going to trim it and I'll be back with you. Okay, so here we are. We have a long black dress, and I'm sorry, I just need a bigger room, don't I? I'm not content with having my own sewing room, but I need a bigger one. Out of this dress, so come forward a bit so you can see, and half an hour, yeah, probably less if I didn't talk so much. Alright, thank you ever so much for watching, and I hope to catch you again.